Academy, and as you know, I'm here live in Florida for the week, and I wanted to respond to a couple of things that happened in the last 24, 36 hours. One, NAR has sent out a letter responding to some media reports and also a follow-up on a Wall Street Journal article that was posted on Friday. So we're going to talk about those two developments, and I also just want to stress so much about the massive amount of opportunity. Everyone's looking at these changes in the real estate industry as bad news. This is not bad news if you're an entrepreneur. If you're an order taker, it's bad news for you. But if you're an entrepreneur, it's really good news for you. By the way, all credit to my friend Andrew for providing the Wall Street Journal article to me, so thank you very much. But let's start with the NAR letter that came out Friday from the interim CEO, Miss Wright. So I got that right here for you, so I'll be taking little notes here. So right off the bat, she says, this is a challenging moment for the real estate industry. I'm going to be a little frank today, because I'm just a little fired up. Quote, external commentary has seized on those challenges and purported to tell our story for us. Whose fault is that? Whose fault? This has been a PR malfunction, malpractice. The people are defining your story because you haven't done so. Let's just start with this letter right here that you posted on your own website. Why are you not going on CNBC, Joe Rogan, wherever, industry relations? Why aren't you everywhere? Why, if you don't define yourself or you just do it in videos or letters that you post on your own website, let me give you a clue. Nobody is going to your website, NAR. Nobody's going to your website. Nobody's going to your website. So yeah, if you don't get out there and actively define somebody else is going to do it for you, like Anthony Lamacchia, who is effectively your de facto spokesperson, right? Exactly. In this story, NAR recognizes the challenge of the moment. Anytime I hear anybody I hear that says, we have to rise to the moment, like I'm going to throw up. All right, so the stakes are enormously high. I just did some highlights here on some of the stupider quotes. No one's going to their website. And then they say, from advocating in Congress to implementing new culture across and instituting new leadership, we're committed to deliver value in our industry, in everyone it touches, including members, consumers, participants in the real estate markets nationwide, as we have done for over 100 years. I mean, this is like a word salad from the vice president, just absolutely completely meaningless. Then they go on and tout things they've done in the past. Nobody cares what you've done in the past. They're talking about what we've done during the COVID pandemic. I know some of you want the COVID pandemic to continue on forever, but it's, as we say in Boston, it's wicked over. It's over. All right, so don't tell us what you did in the COVID pandemic. Everybody's focused on the lawsuits. Let's talk about that. We're going to address cultural challenges, and we've got a new cultural transformation commission. Nobody cares. To encourage reporting, and we also have a new policies and procedures task force to encourage reporting of alleged misconduct to promote an environment of transparency and accountability. Was there transparency when Tracy Casper resigned for blackmail and we don't know why, right? Was there transparency with the San Diego Realtors Association? No, there wasn't. But good news, they're going to be appointing a chief people officer later in 2024. I feel so much better. Remember, I'm not a NAR member because I was fortunate to get out of the whole thing. But a lot of people still consider me to be a realtor because the name has just been synonymous for anybody in the industry, just like Xerox and Kleenex, almost lost its meaning in a way, right? So Wall Street Journal article, once again, thank you to Andrew. I'm going to take exception right off the bat with their first sentence in the Wall Street Journal article. The National Association of Realtors appeared to hit rock bottom. No, I'm actually thinking that rock bottom has not yet been hit. I'm thinking it's going to get worse for the Nationals. Appeared to hit rock bottom. I don't think rock bottom has been hit. In fact, thank you, by the way, Anna. As a new realtor, getting into NAR has been the opposite of my pleasure. Woke garbage and incompetent. I don't want to be a member, but I'm stuck. Yes, doesn't it stink? I think this Wall Street Journal article that you mentioned here, Anna, talks a lot about, like, a lot of people are forced. In fact, there's a poll that BAM and 1000 Watt did not that long ago that said that 70% of agents would get out of NAR if they could, but they can't because they're stuck in it in order to get MLS and or the form. So we'll mention that later in this video. Remax CEO Dave Linger, in the Wall Street Journal article here, says there has been a consistent arrogant attitude of the senior officers at NAR. And when you hear that comment, the second sentence in Nikia Wright's article, external commentary, meaning outside of their bubble of NAR. How dare anybody outside of NAR comment on NAR? That's external commentary. It's just like, come on. Like, of course, you're the largest trade association in the country, and you're like basically taking exception that somebody might have a comment on you. I just think, and again, I'm going to take exception with this second thing in the Wall Street Journal article. For the industry, such changes could prove painful, period. I guess they have qualified and they said such change could prove painful. I think this is tremendous opportunity. And I think this is what the Department of Justice is hinting at. I think there's all sorts of new business models that I don't know if I want to share, but I've been talking with my cousins here. I'm in beautiful Florida, free state of Florida. And I've been just kind of bouncing off a couple of ideas with them today of like different ways real estate could work in the future. I wanted to just big picture. I want you to start to think about getting a smaller slice of a much bigger pie. And when you start thinking about that, there's all sorts of business opportunities that could come out. And I think that's what the Department of Justice is hoping happens. And it says could be less revenue for real estate brokers. Well, maybe some, but if you're an order taker, yeah, you're probably going to lose. If you're just looking for the small, low-hanging fruit that, the coconut that falls off the tree, no pun intended, then yeah, you're going to make less money. But if you're a real entrepreneur, you might make more money, right? More money is good. 1000 Watt, and you've heard me mention 1000 Watt on this channel before. I'm a big fan of 1000 Watt. Brian Barrero, I think that's how you say it. Forgive me if I got it wrong. CEO over at 1000 Watt. NAR got big, it got flabby, it got arrogant, and it got complacent. Very well said, Brian. Then it goes on, this Wall Street Journal article. By the way, if you have access to it, I would strongly recommend it. I don't have a subscription, but if you have access to it or it's on the Wayback Machine or something, it gives a really good history of what's taken place. And there's a reminder in there, of course, that President Biden has issued an executive order to the FTC, among others, that they need to crack down to make real estate more competitive. Mark B says NAR is just trying to stage the deck chairs on the Titanic. Mark, I wrote that right at the top of my notes right there. Deck chairs on the Titanic. Or it's like this is like a statement from the Kremlin. Very good, Mark. Anna's getting to know that she's catching on. Yes, thank you, Anna. Very glad you're with us today. And William, one of my frequent viewers, let's get right down to it. NAR has no idea how to move forward. They're stuck in the past. Yes, bingo. I think that's probably the view, the whole summary of this video. Very good. Let's see, any other thing? I think there was one more thing I wanted to mention, or maybe two things here. Let's skip for. Yeah, that was actually a thing that Anna mentioned earlier. More than 70% of real estate agents surveyed in October by 1000 Watt and BAM, you've probably known of BAM, Byron's organization, would leave NAR if they could still view listing databases and be able to give tours of home. So with that, of course, there's this new Umansky Haber initiative that's going to be, theoretically a competitor to NAR. But to be fair, right now, that's just kind of like a wireframe. And while they do have an MLS that could be national, I don't know if they've gotten a lot of publicity out of it, sure, but I don't know if it's got a really membership momentum. One of the pieces that they don't have which they would need on a state-by-state basis, are the forms. And I don't think they're providing the forms. And you might not think about this as a rank and file agent, but as a broker that runs an agency, I want to use forms that have been vetted and developed, at least by somebody. So yeah, that's very important from a broker to minimize your liability. And if you run an agency, you know that your number one job effectively is to minimize your job as a broker is to minimize liability for your agency. Like number one, of course, by minimizing liability, you are also on the track to doing the right thing for your clients, right? So I am fired up about the opportunity. And as I'm down here in Florida, I'm just thinking about so many different new business models that might take place as a result of the DOJ letter that came out Thursday, which we kind of already read through the tea leaves a little bit. They basically want no more mention of commissions in the MLS. So right now, as you know, you log in there and you can see what the seller would be paying, 2, 3, 4%, whatever the number is. In the future, that field would be obliterated from the MLS. Right now, it's published publicly, and it wasn't that long ago when it wasn't published publicly at all, right? It was only 3 or 4 years ago or whatever it was. And in the future, the Department of Justice wants that field completely and absolutely gone from the MLS. So that way, there's no steering, right? If you don't know whether that house has a commission or that house, you don't know, then you're really forced to get your fee from your buyer client, which I think is going to be an improvement. Remember, there are no perfect solutions, just things that could be better. Let's see here. William says, I agree with your statement. The job of the broker, first and foremost, is to be the director of risk management for your firm. That's exactly right. Yes. Thank you, William. So I guess that's the rant for today. I've had a beautiful time here in Florida. Maybe the Daytona tomorrow. Maybe it looks like rain for the Daytona. Could be Monday. But in the meantime, we'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and commentating. Commentating? That's not a word. But I've had fun with you today. Thank you so much. And we'll be back. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Now, once again, if I can... there.